So yesterday we have discussed about what is meant by constructor, how to create a constructor, and types of constructor. So any questions on that? So I believe there are no questions. And today let's see how can I use this constructor in the real-time implementation. So where do I use constructor concept and how can I implement it? Okay. So before getting started, let's go with a small example and then we'll understand how do we implement this. Okay. So
Pratap, are you recording, Pratap?
yes, sir. Okay. So let's take a small test case which is going to help you to validate a login page. Okay. So first one is I need to launch the browser, open Amazon website, open Amazon website. Third one is click on the search box. Okay, enter data is equal to iPhone. Fifth one is click on search button. Right, I have a small simple test case that is available where I want to launch a browser and I need to click on a search box and I want to do this. Okay, this is my test case 1. Test case 2 is launch the browser, open the Amazon website. Okay, now click on the electronics tab. Okay,
Pratap, we can also include the logging, isn't it?
whatever it may be. I'm just writing test case. Okay, just to show where to implement, how to implement this. Search for hair dryer. Okay, click on add button. Okay, and sixth one is verify if the product is added successfully. So now I have two test cases here. Now can you tell me which is repeating here? Which action is getting repeated here? Launching the browser is getting repeated, opening a website is getting repeated, clicking is repeated, entering data is repeated, right? So all these actions are repeated, continuously getting repeated here if you observe properly. Okay, so normally what we do, I'll go here and I'll create Amazon underscore tc01 underscore iPhone dot spec dot ts. Here I'll import my test from @ playwright test. Okay, then now test of validate Amazon async. Okay, so like this will be keep writing, right? Multiple test cases will be keep writing. So your code is getting duplicated. Your code is getting duplicated. So instead, see what I'm going to do here is, now I'm going to bring the concept of your methods. I'm going to bring the concept of your class. Now I'm going to bring the concept of your constructor. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to create a separate folder and I'm going to name it as utilities. Okay. Inside this, I'm going to create a one more folder and I'm going to call it as UI. So we are doing UI automation, right? That's the reason I created a separate folder called as UI. One second. So if you guys remember the whatever that I told you in between here, right, I'm going to bring all those concepts now. Okay, as we are doing the UI automation, I created a folder called as UI. So under that, I'm going to create a file called as webutils.ts. Okay, so here I'm going to create a new class called as, what is this one, export. I don't want to make it a default import, I'll make it a normal only. Export class, I'm going to name it as webutils. Okay, I'm going to create as webutils. Till this point, any questions? No, right? Now I'm going to create a separate method, call it as launch application. I'm going to create a separate method called as launch application. Okay, and I'm going to create separate method called as click element, because we have multiple click operations in my test case. Where is this? Right, I have multiple click operations, I have multiple data entry operations. So that's the reason I'm going to create different methods here. Enter data. Okay, then close application. Right, now these are the methods without any logic, correct? These are the methods, I don't have any logic here. Do you have any logic to launch a application, to click a element, to enter the data? Nothing is there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Everyone? Right? So now, how to launch application? How to launch an application? How to open a browser? If you guys go here, what you'll do? You'll put your page here, right? Correct? So then what you guys will do here? You'll put await page dot go to, right? Then you'll use your https colon www.amazon.com, correct? This is what we do, right? Now tell me, here I have page, automatically the page is coming here, so that yeah, see here, as I have my page available, the page got opened, and the page got opened, and it is able to navigate to the particular page. Okay, but to this particular webutils, I don't have a page option here. Where do I get? This is not my text block, this is my class file. This is my class file. I don't have a text fixture here. I don't have a page is coming here. You got my problem statement, right? Now what I want to do here is, whatever the page that is available in this particular spec file, I need to use where? Inside my webutils. How do I do that? Now that's the reason I'm going to bring the concept of constructor here. So at my page level, at my class level, I'm going to create a variable called as page of type page. I'm going to create a variable called as page of type page. I already told you, if I'm going to create a variable at this position, this variable is going to be called as global variable, class level variable. If I create any variable at a class level, I can utilize it anywhere in the following methods. I can utilize it any place in the following methods. So that's the reason I'm creating a variable called as page of type page. This page is a class which is coming from the Playwright. Okay, now here I'm going to create a constructor. I'm going to create a constructor where the user is going to pass a page. Wherever you are going to create a object to this web utils, we need to pass that web page. We need to pass the page. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is this dot page is equal to whatever the user is going to send the page. Okay. Now, just put async before each and every method from here on. So tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'll explain you what is meant by async and await. Don't miss that class, which is very much important. For now, just keep it as async. Okay. Now, inside your method, put await this dot page dot go to. Okay. So here I'm going to put my https colon for now I won't tell this. Let me remove this. Okay, now I want to click on the element, right? What I'm going to do is see here await this dot page dot locator. So I'm going to tell that. Okay, for now just remove all this. I won't write any code for this. Now you remember, right? Yesterday I told you about the constructor. Now I'm going to show you how to implement your constructor in the real time. So this is how we are going to implement your constructor in the real time implementation. Now I'm going back to my test case to spec file. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is, see here, I'm going to create an object. Let web utils is equal to new web utils is equal to new web utils. So now whenever I'm going to create an object, I made it as a constructor with parameter, right? Which parameter? I have to pass my page parameter here. Whatever the page that I'm going to get here, I need to pass here, so that the page will get instantiated. Now,
ప్రతాప్
sorry,
సారీ టు బ్రేక్ ఇట్ ప్రతాప్. ఇప్పుడు పైన వీ హావ్ గివెన్ ఇంపోర్ట్ టెస్ట్. ఆ ఇంపోర్ట్ టెస్ట్ వచ్చి కింద వెబ్ యూటిల్స్ అంటే అక్కడ దట్స్ నాట్ ఎ డిఫాల్ట్ మెథడ్, సో యు ఆర్ యూజింగ్ ఇట్ ఇన్ ది కర్లీ బ్రాకెట్స్.
which one? This one.
వెబ్ యూటిల్స్ ఇట్స్
Yes,
నాట్ ఎ
yes.
డిఫాల్ట్ క్లాస్,
Not default class. It's not default class.
whereas the above import test, that test is a default class.
This one, yes, is a fixture actually. Don't get confused with this one. You ignore.
Okay. Sorry, please continue.
Await this dot, not this. Await webutils dot launch application. Now see, if I go and run this, the application will get open. Okay, and again if I go and run this, see here, and debugging and showing you. Got it? Yesterday I explained you about the constructor, and now I showed you how to implement it. Everyone, about constructor with live example I'm showing you. With live example, this is how we implement your constructor concept in the real time. Anyone? Any questions? Anyone?
I'm good, Pratap.
Ira Sai.
New
రే నాకు తెలిసి ఎవరు చదవడం కూడా చదవలేదురా మీరు ఒక్కరు కూడా. నో వన్ హాజ్ రెడ్ దిస్.
నేను చూసాను.
నీ బంధు చూసు. మధ్యాహ్నం దాకా ఎవరు చూడలేదు దీన్ని. ఇట్ వాజ్ జీరో.
నేనైతే చూడలేదు ప్రతాప్. స్టార్ట్ టుడే.
అరే మీ అందరు నా ఫీజులు వేస్తే మీరు చూస్తారా రేపటి నుంచి? నేను ఫ్రీగా చెప్తున్నా కాబట్టి ఎవరు చూడలేదేమోరా.
Yeah, today I'll send the fees.
Guys, again I'm telling you, there is huge demand in the market for Playwright and Cypress. Utilize this opportunity. Again I'm telling you guys. Okay, so now the problem again, I have one more problem sitting here. So any questions before I proceed? Any questions?
No.
Okay, so this click method should be utilized across every element, and this enter data method should be utilized across every element. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you should be able to use the same method where you are going to click on a search box. You should use this click method where you want to click on this electronics tab, whatever it may be, either tab or button or box, whatever it may be. So wherever there is an element that is available, if I want to click, I want to use this method. Which method? Click method. Wherever I want to enter the data, which method I want to use? Enter data. Okay, so now I want to make this particular method to be robust across all the web elements. I want to make this enter data method to be robust across all the web elements. So how do I do that? How do I do that? Okay, so let's go back now. So what I'll do here is I go to terminal. Okay, see here, it is launching my web application. Sure. Now what I will do here, I will pass that page. Await page dot pass. Let me pass for a while, and then I'll record few steps, and then I'll let you know how to do. Guys, now I'm bringing all your old concepts, and please don't tell me that you didn't understand. I'm not telling anything new. I'm going to get back all your previous concepts. Whatever I told you, right? I'm going to bring back all those concepts now. సాయి ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు కానీ చెప్పలేదనుకో సమాధానం చెప్తాను నీకు వైపు నా చేతిలో. Now see here, I'm going to record few steps here where I'm going to click on a search box. Okay, now I'm going to enter it as iPhone and then I'm going to click on this. Okay, I stopped my recording. Wait. Okay, I clicked on this. Okay, I click on best players and I click on mobiles. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so everywhere getting this one only. Wait, let me go and click on this Apple. Okay, let me go and click on Samsung. My God, everything it is coming as get by role, get by label. Yes, see here. For few elements, I am getting as get by role. For few elements, I am getting as get by label. You got the problem statement here. For few elements, I am getting it as get by role. For few elements, I am getting it as get by label. Guys, are you following me?
Yeah, brother.
Okay. Now, for few elements, if I try to add this, let's see what is coming there. Yeah. For few elements, I am getting my CSS path. For few elements, I may get my X path. Now, how do we write? Should I need to go and write this click method for each type of the locators? One click method for get by role, one click method for get by label, one click method for get by locators, like that? How do I write that? I need to write only one click method so that it should work on different type of locators. I told you, right, what are the type of locators? We should have only one click method, but I should have only one click method, and that click method should be able to work on all type of locators. What locators? By role, by placeholder, by locator, right? By text ID,
Text.
okay, by text, whatever it may be, whatever that are available, all those 8 locators should be work using which method? Your click method. That whatever we have written here. I should not write one click method for get by role. I should not write one click method for some other else. Make sense? Clear what I'm telling? So now, how are you going to satisfy this problem statement is my question now. Okay, so let's see that one now. Okay, so to solve that problem statement, we need to know few other concepts also. So let's define that. Any question? So far, any question? Anyone? Any question? So for now, I'm deleting everything, right? So here, what I'm going to do here is, now what I'm going to do here is, my click method should accept any kind of locator. It should be able to accept my get by role. It should be able to accept my get by name, text, CSS, XPath, test ID, placeholder, name, everything it should get accept. Right or wrong? Correct? Any questions so far? Anyone? Okay. So now, for now, I am also deleting this one as well. Okay. So we have a problem statement. To solve our problem statement, we should know few other concepts, guys. We should know few other concepts as well. So what are those? Okay. So wait. Let me keep it like this. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a variable called as let search box is of type locator, because it is a locator, right? So what I'm going to do here is await page dot. So I want to do this search, right?
This locator is a keyword like web element in Selenium.
Yes,
Pratap?
yes. Page dot locator. I'm going to put a hash here, right? Can you see this, everyone? Can you see this, everyone?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It might be locator or it might be, okay, get by alt text, get by label, get by placeholder, get by role, get by text ID, get by text, get by title, anything, might be anything. It might be locator as well also. Okay, everything will fall under the category of what? Locator. Now in my web utils, I'm going to create a method called as async, okay? Async click element, where I'm going to accept element of type locator. Element of type locator. I'm going to accept only my locators here. Okay. Now here inside this await element dot click, whatever the element I'm going to send, I'm going to click it. Okay. So now if I go to my test case here, what I'm going to do here is I'll send await webutils dot click element. Which element I'm going to send? I'm going to send this element. See here we are passing our page. Right? 1 second, let me close all this. Here we are passing our page, and this page is getting initialized here, and the same page is being utilized, and the same page is going to be utilized across your webutils class. Now let me go back here. Okay, you could ask me, Pratap, we are using page here, right? Okay, so there is a reason why I wrote the page here instead of writing inside. I'll tell you that later. For now, just remember this one alone. Okay, just I'm checking whether this click method is working perfectly or not. Okay, so let me go there and debug the test and see. Yes, it was working. Okay, there is no any issue, it is working. Clear? But how many times should I need to write like this? How many times should I need to write like this? This is painful, right? Is there any way to avoid this? Click method is working perfect. I don't have any issues. Click is going to be work like this. Similarly, what I'll do? Async enter data. So whatever the element that I'm going to send along with my test data, which is of type string, okay, it will allow me to enter the data. What I'll do? Await element dot fill with what data, whatever the data I'm going to send, it will go there and it will fill. Not a problem. But how can I define a locator here? Okay, that is the pain problem now. So I cannot keep writing all the test cases like this in the same spec file. Okay, so now we need to eliminate this particular line number 8 should be replaced. We should not write like this. This is bad practice of writing code. We should eliminate this. So how do I eliminate this? Okay, so to eliminate this, we need to take help from file system. We need to take help from file system. So where I will be discussing you in detail about file system now. So any questions? Everyone? Any questions?
No.
Right? No, right? Shall I move on? Vishnu?
Yes, Pratap.
Clear, right? Yeah. So now, for now, I'm going to comment it out. For now, I'm going to comment it out. So what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to create a separate folder. I'm going to create a separate folder and I'm going to be call it as locators. I'm going to create a separate folder and I'm going to name it as what? Locators. Inside this, I'm going to keep it as homepage.json. So this is my homepage, right? Okay, I created a simple file called as homepage.json. So what is meant by JSON file, guys? What is meant by JSON file? Let's understand about JSON now. So JSON stands for JavaScript object notation. JavaScript object notation. Okay, it is very lightweight data format. It is universal data format that every programming language can utilize. Okay, we predominantly use this format to store the data. Where we'll be using? We'll be using to store the data. We'll be using which file? JSON file. We'll be using which file? JSON file. Everyone clear? Right? So in the JSON data will be stored in the key and value pairs. So how I am going to store the data in the JSON? We are going to store the data in key and value pairs. I am going to store the data in key and value pairs. Okay. So to read data from a JSON, we need to read the data using the key. Okay, so this is very much similar to the object type that we discussed already, in the JS class. I already చెప్పాను sir. I already told you about the object type. I don't know whether we have written here somewhere or not. I already told you about the objects. I think I created here. I think so somewhere. Yes. It is going to be similar, exactly same. It is going to be similar, exactly same. Can you see this? I already told you about the objects. Did you guys remember this?
Yeah.
Yes, Sai.
Yeah.
గుర్తుందా? అయితే ఒకదాని కూడా సంబంధం చెప్పు. Okay, this is going to be exactly same that what we discussed about object JSON. Okay, instead of writing all these things inside your spec file, we are going to put into a external file. That external file is nothing but your JSON file. So now in JSON, the key should not be duplicate. In JSON, the value can be duplicate. Okay, in the JSON we will have two types of data storage. One is simple key and value. Okay, second thing is key with array. Okay, for example, I want to store username. Okay, so I'm going to mark it as Pratap. So this is called my simple key and value. Key is username, Pratap is my value. Okay, so I have companies. So I have multiple companies, right? So I need to store multiple companies. So I'm going to store multiple companies in my different array format like this. So here I mark it as company is equal to CTS. Okay, location is equal to Hyderabad. So similarly, I'll be storing it as TCS and I'm going to store it as Chennai. So companies is going to be called as a key and this is values are going to be called as an array. So in a JSON predominantly we'll be seeing these two types of format, and there is third type format also, key with JSON object. Key with JSON object. How that look like is, for example, I have address. Okay, for example, I have address. The address can be represented like this as well. So for example, like street can be one key again. Okay, so this kind of possibilities of data might be available. What is that? Three types. One is key and value, one is key with JSON, another is key with object. So any questions? Anyone on the group? Clear, everyone? Okay, so for example, I'm going to keep it as a JSON object like this. I'm going to keep it as JSON object like this. Okay, now see here what I'm going to do here. I'll just try to write something called it as search box. Here I'm going to just keep it as properties here. What is that property? Okay, I just wrote it as like this. Okay, now again I'm going to write comma. Okay, if you have multiple keys you should separate it comma. Okay, search button. Okay, this is one more button. Okay, now see what I'm going to do here is I want to read the data that is available in my JSON, right? Very simple. Listen to this. Just go import. What is that locator name? You can keep something home page locator. I'm going to keep it as home page locators. Where it is located? It is located under my locators. Under which file? Homepage.json. Now here I'm just going to type console.log of my homepage locators. Now if I go and run this, I can see that entire JSON object is going to get printed. Now see here, right? So I think wrong spelling. Okay, now I want to get the property of my search box. How can I get the property of search box? See here, homepage locators dot. See, I'll get the search box. Now if I run this, whatever the locator that is available for this search box, I'll get it here. See, make sense, everyone? Guys, I'm asking you only, everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone. Now, let me go and add.
Yep.
Let me go and add little more details to the search box. Let me go and add little more details to the search box. Instead of a value, simple value, I'm going to create it as a object value here. I'm going to create it as a object value. So search box is the field name. Search box is going to be called as a field name, and I'm going to keep it as type here. So how I'm going to write this type? I'm going to put it as CSS. Okay, CSS. And what is the property? What is the property? So what is the search box property here? This is the property I have. Okay, I'm going to paste the CSS property here. So from here on, for every object that I'm going to be located, I'm going to paste it in a separate JSON file in this particular format. Okay, this is my search button. For this search button, what is the property I have? Hash now this one, right? Got it? Everyone? Friends? Clear? Sabko? Everyone?
Clear.
We can have a different types, isn't it? CSS as well as
Whatever it may be, if it is CSS or XPath, write it as XPath. Okay, or else let us record that one, right? Okay, whatever it may be. If it is XPath, go and write the XPath for that. And write the properties. Okay, write the property here. Okay, so your task is read this JSON file, and try to click the element. Read this JSON file, utilize this property and try to click that element. Try to click that element. So this is the task that you are going to do today. So
And you are trying to give this type to write that utility based on what type
no,
that
don't
is
try to
coming
read
in.
and all. No. I'm just asking to read the property of the search box.
Yeah, that is fine. The
Ignore the
reason
type.
why
I
you
tell
are
you.
giving type is just to
Tomorrow I'll
make
tell you.
that utility robust, just
Robert,
to
yes.
write a single utility,
Absolutely.
whatever you pass, it's going to click based on the type you pass.
Correct.
That is the reason.
That is the reason.
Okay.
So there is good work that we are going to learn, man, in this particular implementation. Nothing new. Whatever we have learned earlier, that is the one we are going to recap it again. Anyone? Any questions?
Video upload, Pratap.
Yeah.
So we are good to close, right?
Yes. Yeah.